everyone, Stephanie Denman here from the Denman Homestead, and today I am back on the floor and I'm inside this time, and I got my little seed blocks in my greenhouse, my little makeshift greenhouse with this Rubbermaid tote. So if you missed the seed block episode, it's where I showed you how I created my soil seed blocks and plopped them down in this tote. And I'm going to use this as a greenhouse for my fall seeds. Down below, I have all my seeds laid out that I want to start. So, this is what we're gonna do. I've never done this kind of method before as far as this goes, but I wanted to have them inside to start, and then I can easily just take these drawers out and harden them off outside when I'm ready. The goal is to have these germinate and start growing for about 4 weeks, and then between 4 and 6 weeks I want to transplant. So what I've decided to do is I have 60 pods per drawer. There's 6, so the way it works out is that there are 6 deep and 10 rows of each. So we've got 60 pods per drawer for 180 total. What I'm doing here is I've just got my little spiral notebook, and I'm gonna this is how I'm gonna keep track, because I'm not gonna have like little markers inside here and everything. I'm just basically going to, from the left to the right on row 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is what I will know what's in each row. That's how I'm gonna keep track. Some of my fall seeds are direct sow. So carrots, you can't really transplant carrots, so we're gonna direct sow, which means to directly plant them in the ground. I will probably do these over in my herb garden area, the side beds. So these are probably not gonna go out in the backyard garden. I've got 2 different varieties of carrots that I'm gonna be trying out. I've got some onions that I'll probably direct sow as well. These are called Walla Walla onions. So, yeah. And then I have a flower variety I'm gonna put over in the tea garden as well. And then 2 other direct sows. We're gonna do some radishes and some beets. These beets were a big hit this year. I didn't do radishes, but we did these beets, and they are really good. So I'm gonna grow those again, because those will do well in the fall. So those are my direct sow. And what I've got left is some lettuces. I'm gonna try this butternut squash. And then I'm gonna do some cabbage, broccoli, cauliflower, and Brussels sprouts. So I'm gonna do as much as I can with these, because we are gonna eat a lot of this. We are also gonna eat a lot of the salads, but I'm not super concerned with exactly how much I'm gonna plant of those. I'm mostly concerned with making sure that I fill as many pods as I possibly can with these. So I'm gonna start at the top with these and then work my way down with what I have left with the others. So let's get started. All right, let's start with some broccoli. All right. So, and already, you guys, my cat has tried to infiltrate this. She was pawing at it, she was sitting on top of it, she couldn't get in it. So, goal accomplished there. All right, we've got our seeds, and I'm gonna start from the left side, which may be opposite for you, but that's what we're gonna do. This is my left. So I'm gonna just drop 1 seed per little hole. These broccoli seeds are tiny. Let me see if I can, ooh! These are tiny, tiny. So, this is gonna be a little bit of a challenge. So, just gonna take one, drop it in. I did the 1, 2, 3, 4, first 5 rows with broccoli. Now let's do some green cabbage. I absolutely love growing cabbage. We eat a lot of cabbage when we grow it. But also, let me see if I can. But also, I think it's just super fun to pick your own cabbage during the new year and cook it. So, oh man, this is just so bright. I'm trying to get the brightness working here. Okay. So, let's see. So I did the other remaining 5 rows with green cabbage. So this whole top drawer now is done with only 2 vegetables. Ugh. Okay. All right. So in a minute when I'm done, I'm gonna come back and I'm just gonna put a little bit of soil down on top of each little hole and then water it really, you know, just kind of, this soil's already moist from yesterday when I did these. So I'm just gonna give it a light watering and then we're gonna just wait and watch. Okay, let's see. So what do we want to do in the middle? We've got purple cabbage, cauliflower, and Brussels sprouts. So I could probably leave my bottom drawer for lettuce, but I also want to do some butternut squash. So because I've got so much green cabbage already, I might just pull back on the purple cabbage and only do 2 rows. I can do 2, let's see, 2, 4, 6, 8. Yeah, let's do that. So the first row on the left, we're going to do some purple cabbage. And I get the majority of my seeds from Baker Creek Seeds, and their website is rareseeds.com. I'm not affiliated with them. I just like to share their information because I always have really good results with their seeds. Okay, so the first 2 rows in the middle are purple cabbage. Now the second, let's move down. Let's do some cauliflower. Snowball cauliflower. This packet is not from Baker Creek. This is from Tractor Supply. And I actually need scissors for this one, so I'll wait on that. I'll get scissors. So cauliflower is so versatile because it really does a good job at taking on flavors of things that you cook in it. So oftentimes people who are looking for gluten-free options will do cauliflower rice. They've done a lot of good things with cauliflower crust pizzas. So if you're looking for like an alternative for a pizza crust, cauliflower makes a good pizza crust. yeah, so cauliflower, it's a really nice healthy alternative. And if you're wondering how do you make cauliflower rice, you basically just take the head of the cauliflower, put it in like a food processor, and it chops it up kind of into a fine like pea size. And then you can add it in to any dish that you would normally do with rice. And that's how you make cauliflower rice. Low carb, gluten-free, you name it. That's how that works. Okay, now let's go ahead and do butternut squash. This is from Baker Creek. I did attempt to start some of these seeds towards the end of my spring planting, but they didn't take off. It got too hot too quick, and they didn't do well. So we're gonna try again in the fall. I really like butternut squash. It's I feel like an underrated squash, but when the kids were little, like when Alora was a baby, I would make her baby food with butternut squash pureed. But it makes a great soup. You can roast it. You can put them, like cube them, put them in a pan and roast it. It's like kind of like a sweet tasting squash, kind of pumpkin-y. So it's a really good one. If you haven't tried it, try it. Find one at the grocery store. This is what it looks like. Almost looks like a gourd, but they're good. It's got a hard exterior. You cut it in the middle and it's orange inside. I've made butternut squash bread. One time Buddy came home because there was like this crazy sale and they were selling these butternut squash for like 50 cents a piece and they were huge. So he brought home like 10 butternut squash. So yeah, I had to get real creative. I made butternut squash, spaghetti sauce, like pasta sauce, butternut squash breads. It's like my zucchini 2.0. I mean, it was just like a lot. So, but anyway, it was all great. It was really good. The last 4 rows, I'm gonna just do all Brussels sprouts. This is Buddy's favorite vegetable of all time. So, and we eat a lot of them. So let's plant a lot of them. I don't know if you've ever seen Brussels sprouts growing, but they grow along a long stalk. So the stalk comes up and little balls of Brussels sprouts, they look like little cabbage heads, grow all the way around the stalk. It's pretty neat. So that is this one. And just like before, I will come back with this one, I'll come back with some soil, top it all off on the tops, and then add in a little bit of water, and they should be good to go. Flipped you around a little bit. Okay, so, same setup on the bottom row, and now we're gonna work with our lettuces. You may not be able to see this. This is super tiny. Tiny, tiny. I'll try my best. 2 rows of the little gems. And if you'll stick around at the end of this, I'm going to give you a little bit of a chicken update with the new chickens. Landis winter lettuce. Some Merlot lettuce next. Just a purple lettuce. This one I'm super interested in, the bok choy. I've never grown bok choy, but this is a Hedu tiny bok choy. So I am excited to try it. Oh wow, tiny little black seeds. Let's do some Mizuna. Wildman's dark green lettuce. We're going to do some spinach. That's right. Okay, so my last one, we're just going to do another variety of lettuce. It's Simpson black seed lettuce. It just looks like a green lettuce. So we'll try this one out. I will cover these up. Again, like I said, with a light sprinkle of soil on the tops, and then I will give them a good little soaking, and we will just keep an eye on them for the next couple days. Maybe by day 4 or 5 we can start to see some sprouting. And then I've got my vegetable calendar, my planner, that I have written down all my notes of when I've started what. And I need to update this to see, because I would also like to keep note of what has made it through this drought. Some plants are still holding on. Some plants are still producing. Some are doing excellent. Some are just completely dead and fried, which is fine too. But I just want to know for the future what works well for these conditions. Also too, if you didn't know this about heirloom seeds, heirloom variety seeds are seeds that you can save from the mother plant or the plant that the fruit grew from, and you can plant them again and expect to get the same fruit. So they're not GMO, they're not genetically modified, they're not grafted from another plant to where you have to have the root stock and all sorts of stuff. So it's just a really great seed saving variety of plant. It's an heirloom plant to where whatever vegetable fruit you get that seed from, that's what you can expect when you plant that seed again. And I'll tell you, when you plant an heirloom variety plant in your garden and you save those seeds and you replant them the next year, that seed actually adapts to your environment. I know it's crazy, but if I saved seeds, for example, with this year's okra crop, and they dried out and I saved them, that okra planted again the next year will do better, produce better, hang on longer in a drought than the mother plant did, because that plant actually alters itself in a way, and it's like a survival mechanism really to continue to do better year after year when you save those seeds in your own environment. So they can become drought resistant, cold hardy, whatever it may be, to an extent, depending on, the type of vegetable it is. But just to give you a little bit more insight on how seeds work, they're super awesome in the way that they can adapt to your own specific environment if you use those seeds year after year after year of the same plant. So keep that in mind if you ever want to experiment with harvesting your own seeds. So, with that being said, let's just do a quick little chicken update, because I've moved the chickens, the new chickens, and I'll tell you why. Let's walk outside. Okay, so a couple days ago I shared that I got new chickens from a hatchery, and there's been a couple comments and concerns, which are totally normal. Some of you guys are saying, why didn't you quarantine them? You're not supposed to just, what if they've got diseases and things? But the hatchery that we went to purchase these chickens, they have to pass certain inspections and testing on their animals so that they are not diseased. And they provide you with that information, and they're tested by the state. So I felt really good and confident that there would be no issues there. And there haven't been any issues. So there's been no dead chickens. There's been none of that. However, I will say, I was noticing, I feel like each situation is a little different. In the past, I have been able to, you know, like Lottie Mae, she was one chicken. I threw her in there and, you know, she had one rough day with being, you know, establishing a pecking order. If you ever heard that saying, establishing a pecking order, it comes from chickens. They establish a pecking order. So, and it's kind of used along with like humans too, where you establish a pecking order between like hierarchies and things like that. I felt that I would just try to integrate them all together because they were a group with the rest and see how they would do. There's only one rooster, so I wasn't really too concerned with multiple roosters jumping on them and, you know, abusing them in that way. Plus my one rooster that I have left, he's not super mature yet. He hasn't even started to crow yet. So all of these other chickens that are not laying are still pretty juvenile. They're 7 months old. They're not adults per se, so they're getting there, but I wanted to give them an opportunity to all just be together. However, I was noticing that my little 5 new chickens were staying in the coop. They weren't coming out. In one video I showed you, they were kind of huddled in the corner together. And, you know, you really have to just adapt and read your animals. Get to know your animals and their body language and what's normal and what's not normal. What's safe for them and what's not safe for them. So I felt like maybe they weren't eating enough, they weren't being able to access the water safely, so I went ahead and I took them out. And I put them in the little brooder, my little secondary brooder here. And although this brooder is not meant for, you know, 5 grown hens, which I don't know, maybe they advertise it for that many, but I don't believe that that many should be in this tiny space forever. I wanted to give them an opportunity to be next to the other chickens so they could see each other, they could interact with one another, but not be jumped on or attacked or feel like they couldn't access water or food. So that's what I've done, and I'll show you them, and it's actually working out really well. Hey guys. Let me open you up here. Hey. Hi. So see, these are my chickens on the other side of the wire, being nosy, but they can feel safe in here. Well, now they feel a little, you know, encroached upon because I'm sticking my camera in here, but they can walk around, move around. They can get up in here inside this this space here. They can roost if they want to. It's not super hot in here. So yeah, they have the freedom to move around and not feel like they're trapped inside the other coop being picked on. And they can also get to know these chickens too through the wire. So I will probably keep them in here for a few days at least, just to give them an opportunity to relax, not be stressed out, and, you know, let these other chickens calm down if they feel like, you know, new chickens are invading their space or whatever it may be. So, step 2, and I talked to Buddy about this, what I might do is go ahead after a few days and take my rooster and put him in with the new 5 chickens with them. Just for a day, maybe a few hours. I feel like if he is with them and forced to be with them, there's 5 of them and 1 of him. And he's, like I said, he doesn't even know, I don't even think that he's a boy rooster yet. He's not even crowing. So I feel like if I take him and put them in with the new girls and get him acquainted with them, that once I put them all back together with the girls, he may be more protective and not letting everyone pick on them so much. Because right now he could care less who picks on who. And he may have been one to be picking on the new chickens anyway. I'm not sure, I didn't see. But I just want to make sure that the new girls have every opportunity to feel safe and comfortable and get water and food. So we're adjusting, and like I said, not every situation is the same. Not every flock is the same. Oh, I have an egg. One egg. Yep, still just one egg. I think it's Lottie Mae, guys. I think Lottie Mae is laying this one blue egg. Isn't it pretty? So there's still some fake eggs in these other boxes. Those are fake, just to see, just so they know, hey, this is where I'm supposed to be laying. She's my oldest chicken, so makes sense that she'd be the one to be laying this one. I'm hoping soon my other chicks start to lay. So with the temperature starting to cool off a little bit in the mornings, maybe they'll kick into gear. Who knows? But anyway, I just want to give you that update, that to answer some of those questions about quarantining and when's the best time to introduce chickens. You know, it all kind of depends. It all depends. It's like, you know, don't want to say trial and error, but that's kind of what it is. Because, like I said, everyone's setup is different. But I do have the opportunity to just keep an eye on them and acknowledge that they just weren't living their best life, you know, thrown in with the others. So I'm gonna do my best to help them change that environment so that they do feel comfortable and not so stressed out. So anyway, that's what's going on with the chickens, and I'll keep you updated on them, and eventually they'll all live cohesively, happy and healthy together. So thanks you guys for hanging out with me today, getting my fall seeds started. Super excited about getting that going. Not super excited about cleaning out that garden, but it's gonna get done, and it'll be great. And I'm gonna take you along with me. We'll catch you on the next one, guys. Bye.